Well, hello again. It hasn't been that long since my last review, but I just saw District 9 and I really liked it and I want to talk about it. I wish my chair would stop squeaking. Okay, let's try this again. I just saw... Okay, give me a second. Okay, I checked the house. Apparently there's not a single free chair in the entire house. So I'm going to have to do this review sitting perfectly still, because if I move, that's what happens. So, District 9. I really like this movie for a number of reasons. The first one being that I knew going into it that the director only had a $30 million budget to shoot his movie, and I have nothing but respect for filmmakers who manage to tell the story that they want to tell while at the same time dealing with a very small budget. It's one of the reasons that I like indie movies so much. I also think that the lack of a budget kind of helped the movie in some ways. For instance, there's that scene where the main character, Vikas, is taken to the secret laboratory where the aliens are being experimented on, and this lab looks just so messy and so chaotic, and it's so unlike what I would expect from a secret laboratory in a big Hollywood science fiction epic, because I would imagine it to be sterile and white all around and very clean. But in this movie, it being so messy and so realistic, it kind of reflected on what these people were doing. These people were doing horrible things in there, and the environment certainly reflected that. The thing about District 9 is that it's not a very original story. It's kind of a mishmash of ideas that have been floating around in science fiction and pop culture for a while now. But what District 9 does is that it finds a new way to tell the story. It's such an interesting blend of drama and romance and comedy. At some point it turns into a war movie. It's a documentary. All these things come together to present a new complex vision that you are engaged in. What also helped in my case to connect with the movie was the fact that I did feel for the main character. This guy Vikas, who starts out as a total dweeb and gets just so much character development. He truly evolves throughout the movie, even if it is a bit forced at times. Still, there were scenes where literally my heart broke for the guy. I think that District 9 could have definitely used a better soundtrack. It does try to connect with you emotionally, and music is a great medium for that, but the soundtrack for this one was not very memorable. There were parts of the script that I felt were a bit too convenient. The character development for Vikas, like I said, it was a bit forced at times, especially near the end. Overall, I didn't like the fact that all the humans were assholes, and it reminded me of those episodes of Outer Limits where at the end they're like, yes, humans are dead. They had it coming. I don't think that District 9 is a perfect movie by any means. I think it's a pretty good science fiction movie. I have always believed that science fiction is not a genre. Science fiction is a frame for a story, and that story can be drama, romance, comedy, whatever. But what I always liked about science fiction stories is the fact that dealing with things like aliens and robots, things that are so unlike humans, that you certainly have to ask yourself what does it mean to be human. And I think that District 9 is a perfect example of that, because ultimately it's not a movie about aliens. It does have aliens in it, but ultimately it's a movie about humanity.